So let's get into it. If memory serves, this is you.
Yes, that is me.
Excellent. Excellent.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I don't think you understand the gravity of this.
Okay, so you've set up
Ready
up
for
here.
battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
You hear the
A.
Pharah.
Observe the barrier.
Time to raise my AC.
Sure. Unfortunate, and you have a decision to instantly make, and you do. Fine.
Get in here.
Was that? So I'm
So-
trying to apply
The concept.
yeah,
Yeah,
right
no
now.
problem.
And was that a good idea to shoot the D.Va right now? Because now I'm thinking maybe not.
So it's not perfect because this D.Va has resources, tools, whatever. On the other hand, if this D.Va pushes you like she just did, she's putting herself reasonably out of position, right? Like, if we think about this from your team's position, like, oh, D.Va's going to push me and I don't like that, and I'm not likely to get an elimination right here. Okay, well, if this D.Va pushes you up here, she's now in a place where her team, her Ana can't see her to help her anymore. Her Mercy's unlikely to help her. Maybe because they have a pharmacy that can come in and help them, this makes sense. But, like, this D.Va is accessible to you, your Junkrat, your BAP, your Sigma. Like, this D.Va's not putting herself in a good place to try to clear you, is she?
Yeah.
So-
So me shooting her caused her to get in a bad position.
Potentially, but you couldn't
Potentially.
guarantee that. You just expected that you were doing some chip damage to her, and I don't really feel the need to surprise the D.Va. Like, I'm looking at this, and, like, was your team going to let this team in enough for you to be able to drop on their support line, on their back line, something like that from up here? No.
No. Okay.
Right. Like,
Yeah,
if
I
this
think we yeah.
if this team had been a dive team and they just sent their dive tanks right past, a ball had rolled right on through, they were a brawl team and they just tried to hard rotate through to point, something like that, you would have just held back and been like, okay, well, you guys are trying to go in hard, so I'll let you and then drop behind you and maybe go get an elimination. Maybe that's a thing that you do. But these guys are, like, battling for the space. They're trying to fight for every inch. They're not running it. So, like, you'd have to wait too long, and I don't want to let them in. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay. Sure. I'm not sure I want to repeak this quite yet. Yeah, because I don't really want Hog paying attention to me. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So here we are, and this happens, and I'm good with this. I'm not really convinced I want to come back out here yet because, again, I'm sort of looking for an opportunity to go, hey, will these supports rotate in closely enough that I can get on them, or am I just going to apply tank pressure? And if I'm just going to apply tank pressure, that's fine, but I'm probably going to keep that tank pressure on D.Va right now rather than pull Hog's attention to me because, I mean, I don't know about you, but do you really want to deal with Hog's attention right now?
No, I don't think so.
Right, so I'm just going to keep it on D.Va because I bet Hog's less likely to pay attention to me. Yeah, and now you've done this, and now you're, like, leading them, like, hey, guys, come take a good angle to fight our team. Come to a proper rotation, which is like, it's maybe not what we want to do. Sure. Good. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to look at this. It's stable. The question is, should you have been closer first? But no, that's good.
There we go.
Unfortunate. I don't dislike this. The question becomes, could you have gotten closer first and actually one-clipped her? The answer is probably yes, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Blink? Here.
I've made a habit to whenever I go through like a doorway or something or a
Yeah.
hallway, I always blink through it.
And it's not a terrible habit to have, but the problem that you run into is, how do
You
I
don't
want to
have
put
enough
this?
blinks.
Well, you don't have enough blinks to always do it, and you want to know why you built the habit because you actually want the habit to be more specific than that. Like, I'd rather have that habit than not have that habit, but I actually want a more specific habit, right?
Oh, then should I start to incorporate who could be possibly shooting when I go through the doorway, or
Right, right.
what
Like,
abilities I
I
want to dodge when I go through the doorway?
I know where their Hog and Diva are. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm pretty comfortable with that. I have a pretty good idea of where their Anna is, and it's really unlikely that their pharmacy is looking here right now, right? Like, their pharmacy is either going to be up here shooting that way, or she's going to be over on point. So, like, I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, there's just not a threat, right?
So it was unnecessary.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I needed to think about who could be shooting me when I go through doorways, and then blink or not blink.
Yeah, and that's mostly going to come down to how do I want to put this? That's mostly going to come down to sort of phase of the fight, and you just tracking where people are on the map mentally, which you're always tracking where people are on the map mentally. That's just something you do as you're playing Overwatch. Here, you're tracking where your opponents are. Is there a possibility of them being there? There's not really a possibility. Okay, I'm probably not going to use a blink here. That said, if we were in like a staging situation, 6v6 fight hasn't really started yet. There's a much higher possibility of there being someone in this. If you're caught in a duel with someone like a Tracer, there's a much higher possibility of someone being through here. But yeah, you got it.
There we go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Almost. Mm-hmm. Good.
And stay down.
It's gonna be a problem.
I think
Yeah.
we lost the team, so I was just trying to get some.
Everyone that feeling of deja vu.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we lost the point much earlier than this.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm
Objective lost. New defense point.
Oh, so the ideal distance to start shooting at people is like one blink away, right?
I mean, it really depends on the person and the situation, right? Because like one blink away is a pretty good distance in a lot of situations because hey, you're in a distance where your spread and your fall off aren't going to be, serious problems. And if you use a blink, you can be in actual one clip range. You also have the ability to hit blink melees from there. Like those are all good things. On the other hand, if you're closer than one blink away, you're going to do more damage, and not everyone can punish you for being closer than one blink away, right? Like, if you're right on top of Anna, she might nade you, and we don't necessarily love that. But does she have our nade? Is she aware of us? If we're one blink away from Lucio can't really boop us, and that's helpful. But do we need to be one blink away from... I mean, is being one blink away from Baptiste really helping you?
Oh, not necessarily.
Right. So if we could be right up, sticking our weapons and sticking our crosshair sort of in the back of his neck, that's pretty good. And if we were sneaking up on him when we got into one blink distance, we'd probably just use that blink and then start clipping, right? Okay.
Okay, so it depends on specifically who I'm facing, but it should be lower than a blink, or less or equal to a blink.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Okay.
fair. That said, again, there's times if you're just tickling people, if you're just trying
Yeah,
to
of
provide
course.
angular threat, that's totally fine to be further away.
You're going to
Sure. Crosshair didn't quite turn enough there for him, but we've mostly been okay on that.
much better get back.
Sure.
Oh, stream is really dying right now.
Yep,
Could we?
yep. Of course, of course. Okay, should be back here.
Here we go.
Back in the fight.
Why? What do you think is back here? Did you just not see the Anna, or do you think the Tracer went behind her Anna?
Back in the fight.
I didn't see Diana. I thought she was shooting from the
Got it. Further. That's
from the
fine.
main. Yeah. Now I see. Yeah. I
Oh well,
should've
we
caught
have map hacks, but you actually did have a chance where you could see about
Mhm.
this much. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
that much of her, which is why I asked. But
I
that's
couldn't
fine.
catch that.
Not a big deal. Okay. So this is another situation where, again, you can decide that, hey, I don't want to get too close to Anna because I'm worried about the nade, but you have to ask yourself, how good are her reactions going to be? And so, you look at this and go, how good are her reactions going to be? Do I want to get into a situation where now I'm close enough, or I'm just about close enough that I can hit this blink and go in here hard? And how many blinks do I have? Well, I have 2 blinks. Do I want to go in here hard blink this, or how do I want to do this? Do I want to, hit the pulse bomb blink? What do I want to do here? And you decide that you're going to hit this, and you played basically at blink distance from her, and we got, 30 damage to her. And most of the time your aim has been better than that, and, obviously she reacted relatively well, but that's a decision that we are making in these situations. And again, when you're dealing with Annas who are hard scoped like this, like that's a hard scoped Anna, I don't know, I'm pretty willing to blink in and take my 200 damage, 150 damage, whatever, and then if I have to use another blink, so be it.
Okay. Oh, stream. No, don't die.
Oh, really? That's so
Yeah.
annoying. Okay, here we go. We're back. I hope.
It
Okay.
says 1080p 60 FPS, but this is 380 right now.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. Okay. So here you are. You went for this. We missed some damage. She missed her sleep. Can she take you down?
No.
She literally can't take you down. Like, she'd have to hit a shot and a melee to take you down. So you do want to play potentially outside of her melee range right now, but you can play pretty aggressive for these next 3 seconds until she hits you anyways. Can't get this yet. That shot is rushed. And then we still had plenty of time left on that recall. Like, we early recalled there, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Okay. Glad we still got her. Might have cost us an extra 70 health, but glad we still got her. And then, we don't blink out. But hey, it's just our life. What do we need that for?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well, that just happened.
Okay, not totally sure. I think you were going for the trace that was there moments ago. Yeah, I can deal with this. It's not the most amazing angle. You don't have a flank. You probably just recalled that. Okay.
Just in time.
Late, but sure.
There we go. Hey, stop. Fan.
You forgot about the Junkrat trap. We could see the gears in your brain turning there. Like, wait, oh right, it's the Junkrat trap. But hey, we'll take it.
Yeah, sometimes I go small brain.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, it's obviously easier in review. I'm not having to think about, my mechanics right now the way that you are while playing, thinking about like where all these things are. I've got a little more free brain power than you did while you were playing the game. It's all good. Good?
I'm out. Smashing. Healing. Bombs away.
I don't want to force this.
Yep,
Hey, stop.
you're correct not to force it.
Back in the fight.
Sure, that you probably just walk this. Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
No, bad habits. Bad habits again.
hmm
back in the fight.
Yeah, I'd like to have walked this. And you kind of are fast on the trigger here.
Back in the fight.
Like, I want my damage done too, don't get me wrong. Especially while he's reloading. That just feels... okay, you get decent damage on him in the end there.
It looks like I have an issue with waiting for a better opportunity to attack.
A little bit. Like, I don't want you to just wait like a second every time before you shoot people, but I do want you to think like... for an instant, and I do literally just mean an instant, can I line up again? It's the very beginning is sort of when you're at your most effective, most accurate. But that's not totally true for you. You're actually getting a little more accurate sort of as time goes on here, and I'd like that beginning burst to be a bit better on some of these people who aren't aware of you.
Just
Okay.
in time.
I'm okay going.
Just in time.
You're down Lucio. Yeah, okay. Like, I look at this and I'm sort of thinking to myself, there's not a great reason to have not deep into this angle. Like, if you're over here, you apply more pressure. If you're over here, you apply more pressure. What are you getting? By being here, you're blocking someone from going down this route. It's true. But if someone goes down this route when you're here, you're still going to chase behind them, and then they're going to get pinched between you and your team, right?
Mm.
So, like, I don't really need this. This is like a decent McCree angle, if that's what you're doing. Soldier angle, sure. But you're on Tracer right now. We can turn this into a steeper angle. And I'm not too worried, and it actually becomes easier to support you if you're, like, over here than over here, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I think I was just a bit too worried or scared to push in.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. You just lost your Lucio. I can see why you'd be scared. It's just that actually creates the opposite situation where you sort of want to harden your defenses and become harder to push. And it's harder to push your team when you're here than it is to push them when you're here, if that makes sense.
That didn't click in my head.
Totally get it. It can be counterintuitive.
And I think I tried to force something after seeing Sigma ult.
Okay. It's going to be tough. Okay, let's Tracer duel. Okay, so here we are. We get this. She's obviously going to have the Mercy to start here. That's going to be a problem. Fine. Reasonable blink. That's a lot of ammo after. And then a melee that probably didn't make sense. Like, if you look at this. So, this is happening. Okay, cool. Whatever. You do this. Reload makes sense. Was this jar hurting you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I wanted to just get it out of my view, but I
mean-
canceled my reload because of it.
You canceled your reload because of it, which is, like, painful. It kind of was cover for you. It wasn't, like, very good cover, but it kind of was. It wasn't actually messing with your crosshair. You cancel your reload, so she's now got a half-clip advantage on you. You go for the melee there. Yeah. You have to melee, or you have to blink again, excuse me. And you're just trying to get a bajillion blinks in here because you have no ammo to work with. Okay. Sure. Those are reasonable blinks. Okay.
Have some of that.
I mean, the big issue there was the cancel.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You know, 240p Overwatch isn't that bad.
Yeah.
I think I'm still learning a lot just from listening to you, though.
I'm glad. This will also be uploaded, so you'll be able to watch it in higher quality there.
Dorm internet is not good.
I bet. Do you at least have, like, does your school at least have decent facilities for, like, the Overwatch team, things like that, club teams,
No,
anything
I'm
like
playing
that?
in my dorm.
Oh, that sucks.
We're
Okay.
planning to get that set up, but apparently it's going to take another year or so.
That makes sense. Okay, so here we are. We're like this. Fine. Like, in some ways, we could say unlucky, but in other ways, we look at this. She's doing damage. We say that, hey, that's fine. While she was doing damage there, we had the option to close cover. Now she's here. Like, yes, she clips you quite fast, but, like, is there any reason to still be right here right now, or what should you do?
No, we can blink and reacquire our crosshair.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The blink could already be happening.
I did! And I hit the wall.
Yeah. Okay. We can blink better. How's that?
Yeah.
Fine.
Thankfully, I don't get caught the tracer. So.
Yeah, that does help. So, I'm gonna be greedy here. This just happened. D.Va's leaving. I don't think Hog is coming back. Do you think Hog is coming back?
Coming back to the left where I am?
Yeah.
No, he's probably running back to spawn.
Okay, that's fine. That's what I think too. You're at 38 ammo though, so it's fine. Okay, now it's a little weird on my side. Okay, there we go. Fine. Oh, look! It's this nice angle that, you know, you got some nice damage on Tracer from. Okay. You're waiting for breather. There it is. You can stick him. You're not going to. Fine.
Wait for it. Right on target.
The issue here, yeah, sticking Nano versus Hog is probably not the play.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, we were thinking about Hog earlier, or we should have been, but we wanted to see Breather come out. I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, that's happened. I have no idea if he's used Breather.
Right on target.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to stick Ana, but
I think
got
you did
the,
too. I
yeah.
think based on what you were aiming there, you wanted to stick the Ana too. Let me just look at that one more time. Okay, let's slow this down just so I can see what you're doing a little bit more.
Wait for it.
Okay. I mean, I do like to, in a lot of these situations, start the pulse bomb throw before the blink, and you're going in reverse order here, but that's okay. I'll
Right
deal.
on target.
Like, there are always going to be actual throws when you do it like this, and I would prefer to replace some of those with actual sticks rather than throws, but that's okay.
Now, where were we?
still got the Ana.
You did. And that was the thing. Everyone was stacked tightly enough that it's sort of like, even if I just do damage to the Hog, I'll probably get value on someone else. She can't chase you.
Much better.
They unfortunately did have the res, and we're getting to play behind them reasonably well. So, I'm okay with this. This is fine. D.Va's on you. I probably don't want a backwards blink, because now I'm in a situation where this is fine. Like, yes, I've sort of made this harder for her in the sense of how do I want to put this? Like, she has range issues, so I'm a little willing to play range against her. I'm not super willing, but I'm a little willing to play range against her. But it's also easier for her to continue boosters. Like, if you're blinking away when she's boostering, I'd really rather she, sort of have to figure out and be going in the wrong direction as she's figuring out with those boosters where I am. You sort of see how you just went straight back like this, and it's very easy for her to continue to stay on you like this, and like now you have to invest a second blink. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean. So like maybe a ball or tracer, like people that can like go in straight lines, you want to blink past them or somewhere else instead of just back.
Yeah, like basically the same thing here exactly. Instead of this blink, I want to hit this blink because it's still going to be harder for her to reacquire me if she has to turn. Like, yes, I didn't really get further away from her. Like, this got me further away from her, and she has range limits. You do too, but she has greater range limits than you do in some ways. But, like, I want her to have to struggle, have to think. I want her to be under pressure of, like, wait, which way did you go? And, like, do I cancel my boosters and figure out? Do I turn and get it right? That sort of thing. So I still would have, I didn't want to leave this, especially because if she U-turns, like, right this instant, if she just U-turned, you're not kind of far away and are like, well, do I tickle her? Do I use a blink to go back in? What do I do? You've removed yourself from this fight pretty far, right?
I get you now.
Okay. And she does ultimately U-turn, and you use 2 blinks to run away, so like she's your only targeting option. You're not hurting her for a ton. Now she uses her next booster to go in, and we haven't really done much this fight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
I just hear the footsteps and immediately blink. Like,
Yep.
I get Vietnam flashbacks from Roadhog.
Sure, tickle hog, tickle hog. Works for me. Okay, I get why that blink, that was the doorway blink that we were talking about. And that one made sense. But now you're in a situation where you are going to effectively have to recall this.
Round 1.
Well, that was fun. Okay, not a big deal.
You're going to stand.
Ever get that feeling?
Okay, on to round 2.
Down for the count.
I think I struggle a lot on pack.
Okay. Did you try just getting a 6K?
A 6K?
Ready.
Yeah, just get a 6K. Attacks a lot easier after you get a 6K.
Ah, yes, just click heads.
Attackers
Okay,
incoming
so-
in 30 seconds.
There's nothing I haven't seen before. Stick together. We will come.
Ready. Battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend
I could use
objective
some
A.
healing. Last one, there's a rotten egg.
Okay, so this is happening. Your composition is Winston Ball, fine with me.
There's a rotten egg.
You see that Ball is going in, and you decide that this is the moment to go in. Kind of late for this to be the moment to go in. You're not even going to go in off of it, okay? So I don't really like your timing on breaking that choke. It was a little more delayed after Ball than I'd like, because I think these players are good enough that they're gonna, be trying to shoot the ball, etc. Nor was it on your Winston's timing. Like, you could have gone in when your Winston did a soft dive type thing. You could have gone in when your ball tried to just break through, right after your ball just tried to break through, but you were a little more delayed going in on your ball's timing than I'd have liked.
Okay.
Okay. Sure. Yep.
Oh, this must not be the one I struggled against. Or maybe it is.
I
Maybe,
mean,
okay,
there's-
my memory is not good.
There's some struggle in this VOD, because it's a 19-minute 2 CPs. There's some struggle somewhere. Okay. So, I look at this, and I get a little bit into target selection. Like, yes, that hog is purple. Totally get it. Totally good being on this. Except that, sure enough, we weren't able to eliminate them before the purple's over. And I am looking at this and going, it's going to take forever to remove this hog. And there's, a Mercy and an Echo accessible to you here. So I don't love it, because I look at this and go, yeah, we can't really get at the Mercy. Yeah, that's annoying. But, okay. Are you and your Winston? No, you don't have a Winston. Are you guys going to take down the hog, or are you going to take down the Echo? Which is more likely right now?
Echo maybe, because she's 200 health.
Yeah, I think that probably was true. I think maybe if you realize that your Winston's gone, maybe you swap back to Hog because he's purple and it's something. But I think, yeah, that at least while your Winston was alive was probably the play. Swapping to Mercy, good. That's probably just unfortunate. So this happens. It's not the first time you've done this, though you're not too bad about it. You just got purpled. Are you going to end up recalling out of this?
Yes, I should.
Right.
Eventually.
Right. So you're probably going to end up recalling out of this. So unless you're worried about, Hog one-shotting you, which you could be, but I'm not worried quite yet, I probably don't want to blink, right? Because I'm already know that I'm going to recall at some point with this.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just covering that because here's our blink. Well, okay. Guess we didn't get to recall out of it. Moot discussion. It's fine.
All in, way enough.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna go get that high ground. No, we're just gonna eliminate Winston. Works for me.
Sorry, big guy.
Okay. Sure.
The pain.
Yep. Feels a little panicked, but conceptually I like your approach.
Okay, so this must not be the one I struggled so hard.
You got this done, and then you're out, so you go for a recall. Sure.
They stalled for a long time.
The leader with it.
Yeah. She's free. You know she's free. Okay. So. No sleep. You're going to apply damage there. You're going to hide your reload with the blink.
Objective B.
Sure, Tracer's now here, so you're under pressure to get this done quickly. Okay, had to recall. You were out of tools? Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Working on. Looking on.
A little slower than usual of you to acquire that, but that's okay. Okay, so this happens. Why did you leave? Like, this happened, they're whole hogging, you're maybe thinking, oh, hey, with their whole hogging, maybe it's time to leave because my team's getting pushed out. And you could leave because your team's getting pushed out, but you've still got 3 blinks, and is anyone on your team eliminated?
No.
So, you could do this. You could go, I'm going to be here to help relieve pressure, to do that sort of thing. I'm going to fight your front line. That's definitely an option, but you can also just go, yeah, that's interesting. Cool stuff going on there. I'm going to work my way further back into the back line here where things are nice and squishy and where I can apply a greater angle of pressure or a greater angle of pressure. Like, this was fine, what you took, but you can go deeper and it just makes this, like, more challenging for this team, right?
I see now. I don't think that SOD happened in my mind.
Yeah, no. It's totally fine. I want you to think about making your angles deeper. Like, just like when you were playing over here on defense, like, this is a thing. We want to make this deeper. This is a thing. Your team isn't backing out. Like, you wouldn't live back here if you were down 3 teammates, but, like, your team is just fine. This would be a good defensive angle that if the opponents push in, becomes deep on them. But we're looking to go on offense now, and we can invest this time in going deeper into offense. That's okay. Because now our offense has started. It started with them hooking us, but our offense has started. And look at this time you're spending rotating after this fight has started. Like, oops, that's kind of annoying.
Wrecking ball.
Sure. It's fine.
Just in time.
That's unfortunate. Like, that's a third, quarter of your clip right there into I intended like nothing. I'm not sure why. Appropriate.
Do some healing. I need healing. I need healing.
Does she know that you're here?
No, I don't think so. I can get closer.
Settle down. I don't even need you to get closer, though that's fine. I need these shots to just, you know, like, I need these shots to hit. Like, I need you to rush the beginning of your clip a little bit less.
Yeah, better trigger this thing.
Yeah.
I could use some healing.
Helden sterben nicht.
Sure. There it is. So it's not like the end of the world, but here we are at what, 309? Well, let's just go back here. We're at 1140. At 11:15 we had pulse bomb. At 10:51 we had pulse bomb. At 10:07 we had pulse bomb. Okay, so we've got pulse bomb at 9:51, and then we spend pulse bomb over here at
11:43.
11:43. Thank you. So it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to pretend pulse bomb is the most valuable, powerful ultimate, but it's also very cheap to build. And I think what you got into here is. Who are you planning to use pulse bomb on? Are you feeling like, hey, I'm good at the Ana sticks? Hey, I need to stick tanks. Like, who are you feeling like is who you're sticking on the other team? Because it's not the Mercy. I know that much because you had the option to walk right up on the Mercy and you didn't there. So who do you feel like you can stick on this team?
A Winston without Primal Rage is probably my best bet, I think.
Okay, that's fair.
I think the other characters are either too hard to hit or have abilities that can nullify it.
Okay. So, do you want to find that in a messy situation a chance to pulse bomb the Winston, or are you looking to go, hey, I want to be working on the tank so that I can create an opening to pulse bomb? Like, how are you thinking about this?
I think I would usually do the latter, but I think there was a bit too much chaotic fights that I had a lot of trouble properly processing what I wanted to do and what the best situation would have been.
Okay. I think that's right. I think you were in a situation where you didn't really have a plan for this pulse bomb. You didn't really have this pulse bomb influencing your play in the slightest. And I think, I don't want to say it should be some huge influence, but you weren't really thinking about how am I going to get any value out of this extra ability that I've got available to me right now. It wasn't changing your plan whatsoever. And it should have been because you weren't likely to just random into opportunities to use this pulse bomb, given that, you're not going to be sticking Tracer, Echo, Mercy, that sort of thing. But okay.
I go for a ball. Huh.
Yeah, and I don't hate that.
Okay, maybe I wanted to use it to quickly finish off stackers.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, I don't actually mind the pulse bomb that you did use. I mind that it took us quite a bit to find one there.
Okay.
I would have even been fine if you tried to stick the Mercy earlier. You probably missed, but like, my point is more, hey, we charge pulse bombs like lightning. I mean. And you don't need to be holding it to like cancel rallies or anything. Sure. Now you get out of the middle, please. Thank you. Okay, you can mess with her, sure. That's still gonna leave you on the outside, which is good. Do you really have a way to win this fight anymore?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it took me a bit of time to realize that.
Yep. I could comment on how you did have a blink come up in time to extend that a little longer if you were trying to win, but again, that fight was lost, so there we go. pressured up in the lane. We're deepening our angle this time. I like it. Beautiful.
And they C9.
Yeah, but sometimes that happens. I mean, like, you win a lane over here, and they're battling here, and hey, we'll take it. Not a problem. You had the ability to pulse bomb them as they came across the bridge. It was going to be rough for them. So let's head into
Ready,
your second defense.
ready for battle.
And let's see what you choose to do in terms of open on them immediately versus letting them through. Because we talked about that at the beginning here.
2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
All right, everyone, let's finish.
Okay. Do you know what their comp is yet?
No.
Okay. So
All I know is that they have a tracer.
I probably don't want to tickle their Tracer yet because, like, Tracer Lucio doesn't tell me whether they're running a comp that's just going to run past us yet or try to dive onto us, or if they're going to do something that's going to try to, you know, battle us for every inch for space here. And if it's the latter, okay, this was fine shooting at the Tracer. But if it's any of the former, I probably am willing to go, I'm going to let you through a little bit to do that. Could I go, hey, I'm going to make it hard on Tracer, hard for her to get in so she can never get on my backline? Yeah, I can, but I'm not amazing at the damage here for that.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep.
But he kills himself.
Works for me.
I could use some healing.
60 seconds remaining.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, we can't stay here. I'm glad you recognize that. Yeah, we can't stay here at all. I'm not even convinced we wanted to fight this hog. Like, this has put us in a situation where, well, I mean, you see the situation it put us in, where we're between enemies here.
Could have just gone into the room and ran away.
Exactly. No, you didn't have the resources for this? Yeah? I get that you're trying to get behind them again, but you don't have the blinks to enforce getting behind them. Little ring around the rosy with Hog. That's early. You don't know exactly where he is in his breather. You see he's finishing up his breather. Probably a touch early on his crosshair for that point, but that's fine. I'm being nitpicky. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, that's...
Please do.
Okay, yes.
You've got what's coming.
Okay.
You need a timeout.
Nice.
Nothing's good. You need a timeout.
Good.
I think it was gonna just take too long, and I didn't want to stagger him too much where he's still alive when the enemy re-engages.
Oh, the Lucio,
So
I was totally fine with the stick. That's not what I'm rewinding for here. I'm rewinding because you used an extra 18 ammo more than you needed to on the Echo. That's
yeah.
fine.
It's gonna stop.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep. Yeah, and the timer's in a place where they're already going to be staggered. Good. Sure. I'm good with this. I'm probably less interested than you are now in this window. Like, you've still got this Sigma barrier, which is helping you out, but you see how you've sort of created a situation now where your whole team is stacked and you don't want to get baited into stacking because of your window.
Yeah.
Like, if they go, oh, we're going to whole hog now, that's not going to feel very good, is it? Now, obviously,
Yeah,
they
it's
won't
not
whole
gonna
hog.
feel good.
Okay, cool. So, like, be a little careful about windows. Obviously, I was good with it for taking out what you did there, but I'd be much more interested in you being over here or over here right now than I am in you on this card as they're coming back with a real wave here.
Okay.
I'm in the zone.
Okay. I believe in the final attack.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective
Okay.
A. Defend objective A.
So this was a little better. Your timing behind ball was a little faster, and that's more what I'm looking for here.
So try to do what I just did right now.
Yeah,
That's much
I
better. Okay.
preferred
Is
this
it
timing.
ideal or is it a bit better than what I did last
No,
time?
it's pretty ideal. Let
Okay.
me rephrase that. I actually think let me rephrase that. Ideal would actually be when your monkey goes, because when your monkey goes, if your team's probably not going to be ready to push in one monkey jump, they're probably going to need multiple monkey jumps, and it's safer still for you to go through when your monkey jumps in, right? Like if your
Okay.
monkey goes, "Hey, I'm going to hit this jump," and then you go, "Oh, my monkey's hitting that jump. That gives me plenty of safety to go here because they're going to shoot at my monkey." You don't have to protect your monkey the same way. Whereas if you go now, you might get to protect your monkey a bit by being a little bit of a distraction when he's doing his soft dive, but the general best bet would be going when your monkey does it. That said, you don't generally have monkey ball, you generally have one or the other, and this would be a good timing for your ball. You want to go in while he's still a distraction, while he's pulled eyeballs away, so you don't want to wait too long, but you also don't want to actually go in right with him because you don't want to take his Junkrat nades, his Hanzo arrows, that sort of thing. So this
Okay.
was for a ball main tank.
Defend objective A.
This
Better.
should be the good timing. Yeah. Cool. Fight him. That's fine. You can let it be. You're gonna apply angle. Fine. Okay, so obviously we don't want to get caught with this indecisiveness here. I'm totally fine going, "Hey, I want to go do this," and then you're here, and now you have a decision to make of, do I want them to forget that I'm here, or are we in this fight? And with your BAP gone. And the truth is, at this point, you're probably not in this fight. You're probably better off going, "Hey, we're just gonna reset it, and I'll try to maintain my staging." Unfortunately, that's not the decision your ball came to. If your ball had come to the same decision, this would be an easy decision of, we'll just stay out and we can control this, the two of us, or you can control over here while he controls over here, whatever. That's not what happened, so now you have to decide, are you going to hide or not? I don't really like that before actually checking on the situation of that fight, you turn and come back here, because by the time you could be in this fight now, like, you had the option to be in this fight here, and that was a 5-second rewind. And now you used a blink, and it would still take you really another 2 blinks to get there, so you're still really another 2 seconds out of this fight. Like, this is like 7 seconds later for you getting to this fight if you want to be in it, and all you knew about the fight when you made the decision that you didn't want to go this way, but instead wanted to go this way, was that you were down 1, right?
Yeah. I
Okay,
get it.
so I'd have liked a little more information, like at least just look at them type thing. Okay, unfortunate.
60 seconds.
And
I
that
was
poke
very
probably
confused
wasn't
as to
even
what
worth
exactly I wanted to do right now.
Yeah, like the poke probably wasn't worth it because you turn a BAP around to pay attention to you, and now Exodus is like, okay, I'm gonna poke you. So like now we have to abandon high ground, do those sorts of things, and we were never gonna force an elimination on him. We're down too much, and we can see that we're down too much, but that's okay.
60 seconds remaining.
Much better.
Interesting. So here you go. And you're doing this, and I'm okay with this poke if you think this is going to help your team or rotate or something like this. Like, this is, if your team needs help to get through here right now, I'm good with what you're doing. But what you're doing is not going to take out the Mercy. You're not particularly close to getting Pulse Bomb to make some play with Pulse Bomb. And now you've reminded them that
Yeah.
you're over here. So, like,
I think I shoot before I think a lot of cases.
I think you're there, and I think that's good for charging Pulse Bomb. I think that's good for, in some ways getting higher total damage. Like, that has its place, but you sort of need to be able to switch. You need to very quickly recognize, do I need to be farming damage right now, hurting them, applying pressure right now, just keeping them sort of in a pressure cooker from different angles, or do I need to, wait for my moment or line up my shot, spend the extra tenth of a second to line up a shot and actually make this an assassination attempt. Like, we need you to more quickly parse which mode you should be in, And you shouldn't be parsing like right now which mode you should be in. You should have already parsed before you even could see these guys, because you see that your team is in a place where they're not really ready yet, right?
Yeah,
And
you're right.
that's what you should be making your decision off of. Okay.
The objective is mine.
Yeah. So again, you probably force disengage a little early. So like we're over
Yeah.
here, you're doing this, and you're like, let me do this. You're not going to get help from your teams to sustain you. You're not going to get a Harmony Orb over here or a Repair Pack over here, anything like that. So we're doing this, and like, yeah, now is probably an okay time now, but you were a little bit early.
Now I don't have resources.
Right, exactly. Ultimately, it worked though, because you were only about a second early, and you see they did react too hard to you when you were a second early, and that worked because then your front line was able to get, some elimination there, which is nice. Is nice to see.
Okay.
Sure. I'm not sure why we needed to be quite so far for this, so here you are.
Nice one.
I think I got scared of Don't Get Tired.
Scared of the tire. Okay. And then we're gonna blink right back in.
After Tire gets killed.
Yeah. Cool. Sure.
10 seconds remaining.
Sure.
I'm on a roll.
Okay.
Taking the point.
Okay. So we just went through this. Obviously, I have a few things in mind that I think are going to be helpful for you, but I'm obviously also, maybe not obviously, I'm also going to make you tell me what you think was valuable or was important here. And if you think nothing was important or nothing was valuable, that's fine. I'm still going to make sure you walk out of here with some things that I feel are important for you to go work on, that are going to get you some good value, that are going to tweak your tracer, something for you to sort of work on one at a time. But now that we've been through this VOD here, this 19 or so minutes of gameplay, what do you think was important here based on either things I pointed out, things you saw, because, you watched this a little more closely here than you probably do when you're doing your own VOD reviews. What did you see that you think was important?
I think the something that you've been able to point out is when I can actually afford to go in deeper, like
Mm-hmm.
point B on both attack and defense. You pointed out two scenarios where I should go in more, I guess. Like
Deep in
at
your
that,
angle, yep.
yeah, deep in your angle, yeah.
Yeah.
That never occurred to me when I was watching this, so I think that's something I should start to working on.
Okay. And so like using my terminology is totally fine. I've got no issue with it. But the problem with using my terminology is it's my terminology and I know what my terminology means, but it doesn't tell me that you really know. So what I want to get from here is like, when can you deepen an angle and what does deepening an angle accomplish?
I can get the accomplished one first, I think.
Sure. Let's hit that first. Easy questions first is fine.
It gives you a more aggressive angle
Okay.
that's different from your core that you can safely shoot the enemy.
Okay. Okay. And that does bad things to the enemy, like it compromises their cover. It means they have to turn their screen further to go deal with you. It does some pretty cool things that we like. It means, a directional ult like an Earth Shatter doesn't hit you, spam that's meant for you doesn't hit your team, that sort of thing. So that's cool. So when can you afford to deepen your angle? What are some of the things that might influence when you can go deeper on an angle versus shallower on an angle versus no angle at all?
I think it mostly goes on how much aggression the enemy team is putting on me. Does that make sense?
Maybe, but I'm going to need more of an explanation because it's not enough for me to know what you're talking about.
So, it's kind of hard to
I know.
say this.
I know.
Yes.
But again, you need to have something version of it that you understand, and I'm trying to prod you to make sure that you do have a version of it you understand. Because I want you to have something short that you can grasp onto, but that short thing has to be something that I'm fairly certain that you get. Otherwise, you're going to be like, oh, I'm still never deepening my angle, or I'm deepening my angle at the wrong times. Like, I still want to make sure you've got something here. So you said it's based on the aggression, the enemy's aggression, your team's aggression. What's it based on?
Yes. So, so when they aren't necessarily focusing on me, and when my team can follow up, and I'm ready after I'm in the deep angle.
Okay, yeah. So like a time that's generally pretty safe to deepen your angle is like when the front lines meet. Maybe that's Orissa's poking at each other. Maybe that's Ryan swinging at each other. Maybe that's Winston sizing each other up or Teslaing each other. But when those front lines meet, that's a pretty safe time to deepen the angle. I agree. Okay, that makes sense. You can deepen your angle at other times, but you have to fight for it a little more because you're going to find things like tracers and Krees and such in your way, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when there's a distraction, it's going to be easiest to deepen your angle, and that's a little bit counterintuitive because hey, when there's a distraction like that, you're in a situation where how do I want to put this? You're missing from the fight if you spend time deepening your angle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The idea is you're going to get paid back for that in terms of your investment from playing on this new, deeper angle that is powerful, but you do have to put some weight into how long am I going to be missing to go deeper on this angle, and how much better is it than my new angle. So that is something that he gets in mind, but like a 90-degree angle is quite a bit better than a 30-degree angle, right?
Yeah. I get. Oh, is that why it's called angles?
Well,
That just clicked in my head
yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. Like your team is here, and you're sort of, you've got a little bit of a different angle than them. Like their angles, we're measuring it from the opponent. Like the opponent effectively, yeah, we're looking at maybe a 45, 30-degree angle there versus a 90-degree angle over there, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. Fine. So, um, we can battle our way up for angles. If we can sneak up angles before the fight happens, great. If we can battle our way up angles, maybe with a little bit of support like a Harmony Orb, a Repair Pack, Health Packs, things like that. If we can duel our way up, that's fine. We don't want to spend a ton of time, so that's good. If we need to deepen our angle during the fight, that's fine too. And if we start losing people, generally concaving out, fanning out on angles makes us harder to push. So we'll sort of go there with angles. What else did you find useful here? Or what else did you think was important in this review?
uh, for mechanical, basically, think before I shoot. Like, give like a split second to like think, am I in good distance to give more damage, or
hmm
is my crosshair right on top of them? So basically, better trigger discipline.
hmm I would like a little better trigger discipline, but I actually think the bigger important thing in that genre is going to be before you even see the person, you should know what mode you're in. You should know whether you're in a mode of I'm trying to potentially eliminate someone right now, or I'm trying to apply pressure from angles to soften things up, to get cooldowns out, to relieve pressure so that my team can rotate, to wear down a team that's just too powerful for me to go in and dive. You should know before someone shows up on your screen which mode you're in. That I would say would be the bigger thing. And then the subcategory there is when you are uh, in that assassination mode, I do want you to be just a little bit better with the trigger discipline at the very beginning there, because you do fire that first shot pretty fast, and that's really good for that sort of farm mode, soften them up type mode. But I'd like a little bit more initial accuracy for some of these situations where, wait, that's a Mercy, we can eliminate that. That's a Anna, we can eliminate that type thing.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm just writing this down right now.
by all means, by all means.
Trigger discipline. And then-
Okay. And I think those are a couple important things for you to work on, and that they're going to serve you well. But do you have any questions, concerns, comments, things you want to jump into here?
Uh, hmm. I do have one question to ask.
Please.
Whenever I bring these VODs, what are some aspects that I could use to know that is this a good VOD for me to review, or is this a bad VOD for me to review? What is there some kind of thing that I could look for?
Sure. So for most players, I want a pretty average game from you. I'm not looking. I don't care. Like you can bring an ego VOD to me where you just stomp on the opponents, and I'm still gonna find plenty wrong. So like, it's not gonna be like, oh, I'm terribly offended or can't do it or anything. It's just a little less useful for you because if you're playing out of your mind, or if your usual problems don't show up because you're playing out of your mind, that
Yeah.
that doesn't, that's a little less helpful. Or if you're completely getting stomped. That said, if you're completely getting stomped, it's not necessarily the end of the world, because what we run into is it could be, hey, you're completely getting stomped. Like I just did a review that was a Mercy player and they completely got stomped and their support partner was a Lucio, and the reality is, like there's not a ton that they could have done that would have changed that if they were determined to play Mercy. But frequently what happens is when you're getting stomped, or not frequently, sometimes what happens is you're playing fine in your average games, but you're having too many just hard loss games, and we need to identify something that you're not handling. Like maybe you're playing good Tracer in most games, but when there's a Junkrat on the other team, you just handle Junkrat terribly. So like some too many of your neutral games are falling into losses, but aren't gonna look like neutral games. Those are gonna look like terrible games. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, I got what. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to look for games what are they're challenging for me to play and that generally reflect my average performance.
Right, right. And if
Okay.
you that's generally what we're looking for. Sometimes to address an issue in terms of why can't you climb, we have to look at some bad losses. But generally pretty average games are what we're looking for.
Okay. I get that. I understand.
Okay.
I think that's just the only question I had.
Cool, cool. Then we will go ahead and call that one